So a video on EFT, the trauma technique that I'm certified in, is well overdue. And so I apologize in advance for not having more videos for you guys to just click and apply and learn from. But about half an hour, I was rear-ended by another vehicle, and I had my son in the car and his friend was in the car. We had just gotten back from surfing and we were kind of talking and just enjoying this amazing weather. And before we knew it, we were kind of had whiplash. My neck hurt right away. Fortunately, the woman pulled over. We were able to take care of business, but I really felt that that adrenaline pumping through me. And I immediately started tapping on my finger points, which I'm going to show you. We think of this as a cuticle, right? And it is, but the sides are also cuticles. And if we tap on these pressure points in here, we're going to have a benefit similar to acupuncture. Okay. And so I started immediately tapping on these points. Sorry, I've been painting my bathroom, so paint all over. And I started tapping on these points because if you've ever done EFT with me, you'll know that the other points are actually on our body. And sometimes in a public setting, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable or incongruent to start tapping on our body. And so the finger points are a really private tapping point to tap. And so I immediately started tapping on myself because I know that, that trauma is actually held in those moments. And the adrenaline that was pumping through my body was because my amygdala in my brain was telling me that I had to run or I had to hide or I had to fight because my life was in danger. And my front brain, my Lindsay, knew that everything's okay. Everything's okay right now and I'm safe. But oftentimes we can know that we're safe and our body is acting like we're not. And that's exactly what EFT is for. So I was able to bring my cortisol levels way down. I was really calm really quickly. And the woman who rear-ended me felt terrible. I was able to comfort her and everything went really well. I was able to safely get this other kid home. And I thought, you know, I never really quite know what to do a video on. And every time someone calls me and says, do you have a video on this? Do you have a video on that? I think, yeah, I need to put that together. And so I decided that on my way home, before I did anything else, I was just gonna pull over and just do a video for you, because one of the really, really, really beautiful things about EFT is that you could administer it on anybody, anywhere, anytime. And it's not a step into my office and sit on my couch and let me pull out my clipboard type of thing where you have to schedule an appointment. Right now, my family's in the house. I wouldn't be able to have focused on a video, which is usually why I don't get one done. And so I'm actually in our garage and I'm definitely not done up for you because I've been painting and cleaning today. And if you ask any of my clients, you'll find out that I don't do myself up too much most often because I really truly believe in just showing up as I am, and I want you to do the same, and we're gonna work through some of our stuff. So I want to just teach you the basics of EFT in this video with panic kind of as our topic. And I'm gonna just have you pull up something that kind of makes you panic just a little bit. So for me, it was, you know, this place of calm, and all of a sudden I'm hit from behind. I'm shocked. I'm not really quite sure what happened. And now my adrenaline's rushing. And so if I were to recall that moment, I might be able to pull up some feelings of panic. My neck still hurts. And with EFT, what we do is we pull up a feeling. It can be an emotional feeling. It can be a physical feeling if emotions are uncomfortable for you to talk about, which is what makes it very private and very gentle. And so I'm gonna go ahead and say that if a 10 is the very most pain I've ever been in, and a 0 is like I'm not in any pain at all, I'm gonna go ahead and say that maybe the pain in my neck right now was just at a 3, okay? So I'm gonna show you what I would want you to do if all of a sudden you were rear-ended or sideswiped, or in a situation where you just have panic, and all of a sudden you can just feel all of your blood pumping and your heart racing, and maybe your stomach is hurting, and you're just going to immediately go into tapping. And I'm going to show you the body points, but I'm also going to show you the hand points that I used so that I could calmly and collectively handle the actual accident scene instead of maybe saying some of the things to her that I felt for a minute when I was angry. Okay, so the first point is right here inside your eyebrow. You're always going to use 2 fingers. Okay, these are pressure points, and you're just going to very, very, very gently tap them. And while you're tapping them, you're actually thinking about this event. So if I had to think about it, it's, you know, maybe being jolted. Okay, we're going to talk about the feelings that are very real. Sometimes it's the things that we think but we don't say. So I was jolted and I didn't know what happened. Okay. And oftentimes in an accident, that's where the trauma is held, is in this very small moment of time when all of a sudden you just don't know what happened. And so I might just tap, and, this one's underneath your eye at your pupil. And I might just say, I didn't know what happened. Okay. What just happened? What was that? Okay. Maybe scared. Okay. Okay. This is, this point in here, there's 2 pressure points. And what you're going to do is you actually just kind of use all your fingers just to make sure you get one of them. Okay. The last body point is at a woman's bra strap. And it's just under your armpit. You can reach across and tap on it. And you can also go like this. Okay. It doesn't matter. Okay. So that's only 1 round of EFT. Very simple. Okay. You're going to always take a deep breath in through your nose and blow it out your mouth. Okay. Having water in your system really helps your energy shift and rebalance. This is a rebalancing therapy. Okay. So normally I would ask somebody to go ahead and just check in after taking a deep breath. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of check in, and a lot of people really feel sensations in their body. This would be like standing up in front of a really crowded room, and now you get on stage and you have to speak, and your stomach might hurt, your cheeks might blush. These are very physical responses to an emotional issue. So, so while I was tapping, I actually felt my neck pain a little bit, but what I actually felt was my back kind of cramped up a little bit. And so when that happened, I just thought, okay, now my back's kind of cramping up, and I don't feel it right this second, but I might go ahead and give some attention to it. So we're going to go ahead and tap again. Okay. And I might think, my back kind of tensed up. And if I were to really spend a minute thinking about why my back would tense up, it's because I had a back injury about 3 years ago, and it turned my life upside down. I got very depressed. I was confused. I was frustrated. And so I've spent about 3 years really trying to heal my back. And in doing so, I wasn't able to lift all the weights that I wanted to lift. I wasn't able to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do. And so I remember when I got hit. Okay, so now I'm just tapping on these pressure points, and I'm actually using one of the many emotional freedom techniques, because there's over 40, and this one's called telling the story. So I'm actually I'm kind of telling you a story, is that, a few years ago I injured my back. It was upsetting, it was frustrating, it was depressing. It took a long time to heal my back. During those years that I healed my back, there was a lot of things I couldn't do that I wanted to do. And so when she hit me from behind and I got some whiplash in my neck, and my neck started to hurt, my first thought was, great, another injury. Now that my back is healed and I just started lifting weights again, I have a whole new injury that I'm going to have to take care of. And some part of my subconscious probably was telling me that I was just going to be injured again for another 3 years. Okay. We have such strong muscle memory. Okay. Here's another tapping point. And if you're tapping along with me in this, something that you've experienced panic over, whatever it was that I had you pull up, you might notice now that your number has shifted. I was a 3 in the beginning of neck pain. Right now, maybe I'm at like a 2.5, so it dropped a little bit. Your number might have gone up to an 8, and that's okay. The number going up isn't a bad thing. It actually means that we're getting to something, okay? So anyway, when I thought to myself, great, now I'm gonna have another injury for the next 3 years, that might have made my back almost go into some sort of spasm because it wants to protect itself. And EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. This point is on the top of your head. There's over 45 techniques. It's a combination of acupressure and neuroscience and talk therapy. And I like to say it's all the best things of all of those. We don't really need the needles, and we actually don't need to tell our whole story and all of our background. And we don't have to repeat all the stories we've been telling our whole lives to all of these people, and it's never really helped us. We're actually just dealing with the feelings. And once we address some of these feelings that we might not normally know how to express or feel bad kind of admitting, then it's like they got a voice, and we can rebalance. And what's actually happening is your brain is being rewired, and a traumatizing event, instead of feeling like it's right here in front of you and displaying that in neck pain or back pain or a stomach ache, is now rewired to the actual time in history that event happened. So if there's an event that happened 5 years ago and you think about it all day, every day, and it feels like it's right here, after a really good session of EFT, you might find that event now has been wired properly to that event that happened 5 years ago. And, you know, there is that cliche, or I don't want to say cliche, but that saying, that time heals all wounds. And we all want to say, well, no, it doesn't. Okay, but there is some truth to time healing our wounds. And so when a traumatizing event or a scary event or a sad event or an upsetting event, disappointing event, embarrassing event stops feeling like it's right here and it gets rewired to 5 years ago, there is 5 years that feels like it's gone by from the time that happened to now. And just imagine if you were able to process an event that happened 5 years ago as if it happened 5 years ago. So anyway, that is EFT. This video is longer than I wanted it to be, so I'm gonna just thank you for your time and let you go. But what I really want you to know from this video is, in the event that you're suddenly panicked, your fight or flight response has kicked in, all of your blood has completely left your stomach and you're ready to run, okay, I want you to just know that you can just start tapping on these points. Think about what you're feeling. This is scary. I don't know what happened. Is anybody hurt? What just happened? What am I gonna do? Okay, you're just tapping. All of these thoughts are going through your head. You're tapping, and these are the points once again. And the way that I tapped on this without anybody having a clue what I was doing was I was just using my pointer finger like this to tap, and I was using my thumb to tap on my finger points. Okay, so while the woman was giving me her insurance card and telling me how bad she felt, and while the boys in my car were checking the car, I was actually doing this. I took a deep breath through my nose, I blew it out, and I would say that I went from about like a 9 on like the anxiety shaky scale, definitely to not even a 1, 0 or a 1. By the time I was done talking to her, I was able to actually give her a hug, tell her that good people make mistakes and that I'm not any different than her. So I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, comment below or touch base with me. Have a great day. Bye.